Biden signed an executive order of Buy American. And I'm going to explain it to you and why it's a horrible executive order in that it doesn't go far enough. It's a measly, small, little kind of baby steps, a lot of bull crap. Just a whole load of bull crap and nothing else. So, but, first, Buy American, for those of you who don't know, is the United States, should only purchase. This is what it means. It means that the United States should only purchase goods in the United States of America, meaning goods that are made in the United States of America. And this would actually provide a huge boom to manufacturing and jobs in this country because, if you're requiring the federal government to buy more goods from this country, you need more people to produce those goods, you need more companies to sell those goods, and so on and so on, so on and so forth. So eventually it creates jobs, it creates businesses, it creates a stimulus to the economy, and there you go. The big thing is, so we on the left love this kind of order because it stops this whole, leaving the jobs to just the other countries. It makes the federal government buy things here because, guys, the federal government buys a lot of crap. I mean, the government, they buy everything from food and beverages to furniture to office supplies to cars to steel to metal to phone technologies and technological devices and communication devices and all kinds of things. Like Apple makes a lot of their crap in China and then brings it here and assembles it here or whatever. So Biden decided, Trump decided to run on that in 2016, and he said, I'm going to sign a Buy American executive order. And he kind of signed it, but he did this symbolic thing where he did a Buy America week, and we were all supposed to clap like, oh, yay, dude. Oh, thank you, man. You did it. You fixed it. You fixed manufacturing in this country and brought more jobs. No, actually, under Trump, we had a net loss of jobs in our economy in terms of manufacturing. In fact, in his first year, we had, what was the number? So we had a net loss of 100,000 manufacturing jobs. 100,000. And then Foxconn, I did a video on this, decided they were going to make a company, a warehouse to make for people to make LED displays in Wisconsin. And Trump and Scott Walker, whatever his name is, were putting this out there and promoting it. And instead, they offshored the jobs, and along with those other 100,000 jobs that were offshored and sent overseas, and nobody got any jobs, and people lost their jobs. And so Trump actually hurt manufacturing, and he didn't sign that executive order. It was sitting there, but he never did it. So anyway, which I think could have helped him win the election. But so Biden signs this executive order, and basically it means nothing. So I'm going to tell you why. So first off, it increases the price preference for American goods, and this actually means that in a way it means that more American goods will be bought by the federal government. So by increasing the price preference, you increase the amount that the American government buys, the federal government buys from American companies and American cities all over the country. Now, the other thing it does is it fixes the way we measure the content made in America. So it basically means the amount that is produced in the United States is what's going to qualify as made in the United States. Meaning, there is a certain number of materials that have to be produced and made in this country in order for it to qualify as made in America. There has to be a certain quota and a demand. And so now this is kind of good, sort of, but it doesn't go far enough because essentially what he does is he still allows for companies to purchase from our allies. I mean, it doesn't get even any more weaselly than that. So any allies like Israel who imprison Palestinians and push them out of the West Bank and all of that, Saudi Arabia, France, Italy, just France, just anybody who sells goods, if it's made in those countries but assembled here, because this is the rule that Trump and Obama had. Obama and Trump, they had this rule where if it was made in Israel or Saudi Arabia or Japan or from France or Germany or wherever, Italy, whatever, but it was assembled in the United States, it would count as being made in the United States, which actually doesn't freaking count because, they didn't weld it. The steel plants here in the United States didn't weld it. The furniture stores here in the United States, the manufacturing companies didn't make those. The LED displays weren't made in America. They were just mounted onto the phones and put on the phones and screwed on. So that doesn't count. Now, what Biden is doing is like getting rid of some of the most egregious parts of that kind of measure, where it's like, okay, you can only there's like certain amount of content, and there's only certain things you can buy from those countries, and it has to be this. So it's like little baby measly dumb shit. Like, it's just little baby steps. And this is the problem with the Biden administration, is that, when I read that he did a Buy American executive order, I immediately went, yes! And then I went, wait. It's going to be measly, isn't it? And it was. Because, you see, guys, a real populist would say, I want no purchasing from allies. I don't care if they're Israel. I don't care if they're France. Israel shouldn't even be an ally. Neither should Saudi Arabia. But anyway, they should not be our ally, or they should not purchase. And no, they should be our allies. Well, Saudi Arabia and Israel shouldn't. But we should not be purchasing from them. You can only purchase from America. And it can't be that, if it's assembled, it's made in America. No, you have to make it, package it, assemble it, all of that. It can't be made in another country and then brought here to be assembled. No, the whole process has to take place here. And he's not doing that. Instead, he's doing these little freaking loopholes, good-ass loopholes for the corporations who work with the federal government, have contracts with them, and for the federal government itself to not have to spend that much money. And guys, by doing that, he's costing a lot of jobs. Because if it were me, and like if you had a populist president, you'd go, they would go, okay, we're gonna do where you cannot only assemble it here. You can't just assemble it here. You have to actually make it here, and you can't buy it from other countries. It actually has to be from here. But if we don't have the infrastructure to do that, then we're going to build the infrastructure to do that, because we're going to create jobs in this country for people to do that crap for us. We're going to build the infrastructure to make that happen, right? And so this is where it goes wrong. This is where Joe Biden effed up, because he's not increasing the jobs that are required to manufacture these products, because he's just allowing the federal government to get away with buying from other countries, even though he's like amending it a little bit. So the same rules, bunch of loopholes, and this is all incrementalism. This is just, hey, symbolically, I did a little something about it. I did a two tiny baby steps, but nothing really substantial. Nothing that's going to help the American economy. It's not actually going to do anything for us. Like with healthcare, I'm getting from the insurance companies. So you're still going to have to pay $800 a month with healthcare industry. I'm still not going to raise your wages until 2025. I'm still not going to I'm not going to get rid of all federal contracted prisons. Private prisons. So there you go. Again, little incremental steps to try and say, yay, we did it. See. And just to try and say that at least they did something. But it's not actually going to work. This is what's going to make the Democrats lose. This is exactly what's going to make the Democrats lose. This is one of the stupidest things, yet again, that I have to report, because Joe Biden is a stupid criminal corporate hack. That it's just, instead of increasing jobs and improving the economy here in the United States, he wants to improve the economy around the world, and this is why it's a terrible order that he signed.